Thanks for visiting CarverBanjos.com. This is the DIY Minstrel kit. So let's get right into it. This is an example of the neck you will receive, and you can see there's a lot of meat on this neck, and I'm going to show you how I shaped the neck to kind of fit my hand a little bit better. I'm using a belt sander here, and side by side, one that I've sanded, you can see I've contoured it to fit my hand. Just make it a little bit more comfortable. This is not something you have to do, and you don't have to do it with a belt sander. You can do it with hand files if you want. So the next step is to sand the dowel and the neck. So we start with 220 grit sandpaper, and we sand at the direction of the grain. And then we work our way up to 320 grit sandpaper. And you can go farther if you want. You don't have to. I find 320 is pretty good. And just make sure you get all the curves. So the next step, we will glue the nut into place. I'm just using a tiny bit of wood glue, and we're setting it into the slot in the neck, and pop it in there and make sure it seats evenly on both sides, no gaps. So here is a scroll. This does not come with the kit, but you can buy it separately, and you just apply glue to the back side of the scroll and then line it up with the headstock and clamp it into place and give it some time to dry. So now we're ready to apply a finish. I'm wiping the dust off first, and today I'm using True Oil. True Oil is a gunstock finish, and I like it because it's so easy to apply. You can use just a rag, and you don't even need a rag. You can even apply it just with your hand. 2 or 3 coats of that, and it's a nice, strong, shiny, clear finish, and it really brings out the color of the wood. So when people ask me what finish I recommend, it's any clear varnish that you can apply by hand. So teak oil, tung oil, linseed oil, there's tons of light varnishes out there, and I recommend those over stain, so we can bring out the natural beauty of the wood instead of hiding it. So we did 3 coats of True Oil today, and I gave 2 or 3 hours time in between each coat before putting on the next coat. And I want to make it clear, you don't have to put any finish on your kit. This is a kit, you can take a lot of time with it, you can turn it into a weekend project, or you can just put it together right out of the box. And then I just prop it up on this box, get airflow on all sides, and so it doesn't stick to the newspaper. So here we have the drum. It's a square hole here and 3 small holes opposite the square hole. And I take the dowel, and you see this rounded over edge. This is the bottom of the dowel, so it needs to be put into the hole this way. So we take our small black screw, and these holes are all pre-drilled, so everything lines up, and snug it up there. I'm using a power drill. I recommend a screwdriver, so just be careful if you use a drill that you don't strip anything out. So now we have these 3 steel screws. I'll put the first one in and check that the neck is straight with the dowel. Then we put the other 2 screws in and tighten everything up. Alright, let's go ahead and get the strings on the tailpiece. You see there's 5 holes up top and 2 holes on the bottom, and the strings are numbered 1 through 5. So the first string would be the farthest right hole, the third string would be the middle hole, and the fifth string would be the farthest left hole. And these are nylon strings, and you can upgrade your set to gut strings if you want a more authentic playing experience. Here we have the first string, and as I showed you, we're going to start on the farthest right hole for that first string. And we're just going to tie a slip knot, basically. So I put it through the tailpiece, and then I wrap it around itself 3 or 4 times. And then we take the end of the string and put it through the eye that we have created, and pull it tight. And then for good measure, we'll take that short end and just tie another knot. And that's how I put all my strings on. You have to make sure that your strings are secure on the tailpiece, because if it is not tied tight enough, the string will not stay in tune very well. Just so you can see what I'm doing, I'm using the 4th string now. And we wrap it around 3 times and then put it back through the eye, and we're pulling it tight. A little bit harder to do with this one because this string is wound. And tie a knot. There you go, nice and strong. All the strings are on. Now we're ready to attach the tailpiece to the drum. We have these 2 small flathead screws, and they're short screws. So when we put it into the drum, we don't want to over tighten it. And if you do over tighten and pull it loose, you'll have to find a similar screw that's slightly longer. So just be careful with this step. All the holes are pre-drilled and they should all line up. Using our flathead screwdriver, and it's just 2 or 3 turns, and that's all it takes. Alright, let's clean up the nut. I got a little bit of varnish in the string slots, so I'm taking a piece of 320 grit sandpaper and I'm just going to fold it in half and use it like a file. And carefully clean out these slots. Careful not to scratch up the neck. And you can also use this method to bring the slots lower to the fingerboard if you want to have lower action. Just be careful not to go too far, or you might start getting a string buzz on the fingerboard. Just double check, make sure the strings will fit into the notches before we go any farther. Now we have the friction pegs. Pegs are tapered. You push them up into the hole, and the farther up you push them, the tighter they will get. So right now they're just loosely sitting in the hole, so not trying to make it too hard to get these strings tied on. Start with any string, it doesn't matter. the string through the hole in the peg, and you can see I'm wrapping the string over itself. That's important because you need to get the string to lock itself. And then with my index finger I am guiding the string downward, down the peg. This is keeping a nice downward tension on the string at the nut. Got the string in, and I go over and then under, and then as we get closer to being where we need to tune it, I push the string down to guide it down the peg, so we have a nice downward tension. Alright, all the strings are on and we're ready to tune it up. See, I'm always guiding the string down because it'll have a tendency to move up the peg, and then we'll run into problems. Alright, so this is the bridge. It does have a small notch in it. This is to compensate because the third string plays sharp on most banjos, but it doesn't really matter here. So normally we put the notch towards the peg head, but it doesn't matter because this instrument is fretless. So we want to measure from the nut to the bridge 24.5 inches because the double OGs along the side of the neck are indicating the 5th, 7th, 10th, and 12th position along this scale length. So here you can see the 12th fret indicator is halfway between the nut and the bridge. So it really was just that easy to put this kit together. You can spend a lot of time on it, or you can just put it together and be playing in about half an hour. I hope this video helped. You can purchase this kit at carverbanjos.com, and I have other kits available there. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.